Got a house full of blues. Got a house full of blues. I got a house full of blues. I got a house full of blues.
First thing we got out of airplane, it was the heat. It went under my skin. It was late in the night, quite dark, but somehow I felt some kind of spirit in the air.
I see these signs that it says like a Baton Rouge is so many pounds, and I can see that it's really here. Yeah. Here we have it. It's finally here. Yes. Fine.
Sometimes I wonder why you're still here with me.
Hey. Micke.
Hey, Mark.
Nice to meet you. Great to be here.
Hi, Timo. All right.
Very. I didn't realize that this is so high.
There's enough space for our music.
Yeah, you think so?
Our eagles.
You know all this music so good, and we'll just go over stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually, you know, as soon as y'all wake up, you'll probably knock it all out, and then we'll just start dealing with details and this and that and this and that. But I think, you know, if you just don't have to press for a couple of days, just get in here and, you know, feel how it, you know, feel the room out and see what you think.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. I'm Micke Bjorklof, and I'm lead singer in this group, and also play harmonica and some rhythm guitar. When we were planning about doing this, the name Piety Street Studio popped up every now and then on records what I listened to, and that's basically how I found the place and started to do some research. I like the stuff what has been done here.
You know, the Alan Toussaint, they like the Hugh Laurie records, they like some of the stuff that Joe Henry has done when he's worked in here. So they had a sense of history in here of this being a place where they got to come in and do it up to the highest level they can. I could refer to almost anything musically and they understood what it was. These guys had learned over the years, they'd been a blues band, they play R&B stuff, they knew how to strip it down quite a bit without losing the core of what they did.
We started this band in the beginning of the 90s. The bass player, Seppo, we have been working and playing together with him from '85 or something. He's the nicest person in the world.
I'm the bass player in Blue Strip and also composing some songs now and then. I'm one of the founder of the whole band, me and Micke. Micke is the engine of the band, keeps the train running, and he's the organizer. I think he has a very good view how the band should sound.
But otherwise I think the structure is good. That's what we talked about before we came here. You should kind of use more that kind of percussion stuff, which is not actual instruments. So. Timo came in '98 because we wanted a guy who wanted to play mallets, and that's a pretty unusual combination also to have a good rhythmic percussion player who plays also the mallets. And it was couple of weeks later he was on the first gig.
And now, some footage. All right. Woo!
My name is Timo and I play percussions and mallet. So gongas, tambourine, timbale, and then block, various tambourines, cowbells, small splash cymbals. Here is broken one on top of it, so they are quite nasty sounding.
Lefty is the kind of the main songwriter in the band, and he always plays with a really good attitude, and he gives the punch every time.
The guitar playing was always amazing from the get-go. I think the band was trying to go in a new direction, and what Lefty was doing, Lefty was the main writer, and his songs, very good writer, very strong, and they all worked pretty well right away.
These guys, they were playing together under the name Tres Amigos. I came along in 1997. Are you guys happy with your performance? I'm not. I gotta play. Because I had a lot of songs in store, I started introducing them to the guys, and they well, they seem to dig it.
We started doing duo gigs also with him. It's called Micke and Lefty. Surprise. So that band suddenly started to grow its own path. So now we kind of have two projects. Teemu, who's the drummer, he is much younger now, 10 years younger than I am. His parents lived in my parents' house on rent. I have known him also for all his life.
Teemu, the drummer, is very, very good drummer. I mean, stuff would hardly ever move.
A great player, and really admire his talent. Oh. Sounds good.
I've been a fan of this music over 20 years.
I think this is maybe a combination of New Orleans and Finnish.
There's not much that sounds like this. Just that's what's always fun, to try to make records that don't sound like a million other records. And they understood they wanted to make something that was a little more raw, a little more old-fashioned, you know, New Orleans stuff, which goes back into the 50s R&B through more of the modern stuff.
We actually planned to do this about 10 years ago. Then you had the Katrina here. And
me and the guys were talking like, oh god damn, we should have gone to New Orleans, and now it's gonna be destroyed, and you know, and there's not gonna be any New Orleans anymore, and like, and then when I wrote this song, I had this kind of a punchline like, after the flood, and. After the flood, it started out like some kind of a description in general of the whole situation. When Katrina was on here, there's it's time for chaos and guns, and there's mobs stealing places, and of course I exaggerated it a little bit in my head to get a good story. But then it became a story about relationship guns, a little bit sore. but that's the straight connection on this CD lyrically. This is a place that has, of course it has always existed, but for us it has been a kind of a tale. And suddenly we're here in New Orleans. And I'm in French Quarter and all these places, and suddenly it's a very real place for us. I didn't go and change my lyrics or anything after having gone to French Quarter, but it still affected a lot to be in the actual place.
We have got a lot of inspiration just walking out in the city and seeing bands play, and because there are a lot of kind of elements what we also use.
They're like working their asses off trying to win the audience and get their tips, you know. I have a lot to learn from these guys and in the attitude of playing.
Wherever I go, I find the good music. The players are amazing.
This has been that kind of experience that I definitely will find myself here again.
The experience at Piety was good?
Yeah, really good. Easy to work with, both of them, I think. It's been fun.
Mark is really intelligent.
Yeah.
I like him. His sense of humor is very dark.
Yeah.
You can always tell it's a Christian radio station because the production values are spectacular.
Right.
And nobody else gives a shit anymore.
Give you guys a chance to come and play and see what it's really like.
Yeah.
See what it's like to play in America and have people talk
Ignore
to each
you.
other while you play.
So you can get ignored by huge crowds here.
Mark is like a spirit maker.
Just concentrating that we have good mood.
Most of the food I've eaten is done by Mark. He makes great food.
Seems to put a lot of love in his cooking. That's really important thing for him during the day to do.
A lot of New Orleans food can be considered pretty heavy duty and put you to sleep and all that. And so I was trying to have a lot of vegetables and lighter stuff initially. And then once the tracking was done, it was, you know, we had meat. He just fell in love with New Orleans, stayed here, and started playing with Mardi Gras Indians. And then pretty soon, it's like every Mardi Gras Indian band seemed to have a Japanese guitar player.
So it became a kind of a standard.
We are in good hands here. We have a lot of discussions what to do and what would be the next step.
We had over 20 songs to begin with. And I think I had ones that I liked more than others that seemed to fit together, and Micke did. And I had suggestions about tempos. I had suggestions about how dense certain things were in terms of the percussion. So by the time they got here, we had come to an agreement pretty much. Here's what they were doing. They had to go in and play it.
Same thing with my prophets, the same thing with Iron Man. They might be one with justice, then they are back again. So sing the song of freedom, that can do no harm. And what the people need is a sign of alarm. Understanding.
Last night we had added some background singers, Michaela and Alexis, and they did a fantastic job. The guys had sung them before, but there were some places where we thought that maybe give more to the story also if you had female voice in the background vocals, and I think it gives more depth also in the sound and also in the interpretation. I think it affects a lot, and they were sounding amazing.
Understanding. Ooh.
$4. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a man with a camera following you.
Thanks. The people around here, there's so many kind of people here. But the main thing is they are so friendly. Everybody says you, "Hi guys, how are you doing?"
Everybody's walking, they got no rush going anywhere. Just hang. It's weird. Weird for me because I don't know. I'm
not used to that in Finland. So normally we look away if somebody's.
So what were you saying? Sorry, I wasn't listening. You like to do some dance stuff? Oh wow.
I got a rap that I can sing.
You do? Well, show what you can do.
So I ain't trying to be like the person that ain't be like, and I super cool, don't want to follow rules, don't you like my swag? Because the swag is the truth.
Okay. Cool, man. What can I say? If you come to the studio, then you might have a talk with Mark about the lyrics, but there's quite a lot of stuff. That's cool.
I haven't ever felt so easy to play than in this place.
You undo your bad luck life. Just don't forget to pay the dude, or he end up with your wife. Bad luck man, Jack the Black Hat. What's your plan? Where's the black cat? Bad luck man, Jack the Black Hat. What's your plan? Where's the black cat? You sure don't want no trouble with this man.
We were changing the drum sound every song to fit the song.
Sometimes it might do good for the song if the drums are killed. So I was trying to figure out how to jump the drum. And Mark comes in with the tampon and puts it on the drum.
It doesn't deaden the head as much as tape. You know, if you just have gaff tape or duct tape, you know, it just completely stops vibrations. Where if you put these pads, they have a little adhesive on the back, and they're lighter and more absorbent, let's say. So.
Jack the Black Hat, what's your plan? Where's the black cat? Bad luck man. Jack the Black Hat, what's your plan? Where's the black cat? You sure don't want no trouble with this man. Around, oh, past the crazy laughter, you don't hear a sound.
I like many kind of music in my life. I found that I like those songs which includes blues. Yeah. They were the best songs.
I never got my kicks from hard rock or anything like that. But I got my kicks from that old country blues, and that's still emotionally the most important thing.
I've been listening to a lot of records which comes from New Orleans, all from Professor Longhair, Dr. John and Neville Brothers and John Mooney and these guys.
The second line thing, it's the bottom of our playing.
Beautiful. That was amazing. Come and listen to it. I love King Alcohol. It's like got its own special thing. It's really different. And I think because I went through those songs for so long, I don't think there's anything, I don't think there's a turkey on the whole thing. I think it works out. And I think like things like the Black the Jack Hat's amazing, Gumbo Mama, even like Sometimes I like, and Water From Your Shoe is amazing. I think that sounds like a hit song to me.